are like they're forced to ask me a question. So what I'm actually doing with my team, and it's been very successful. We just started it yesterday and today. I'm like, anyone who wants one-on-one coaching for your messaging, I'm offering that service. So you could ask, your sponsor if they would do that with you. But they're basically giving me voice messages and I'm like, okay, no, I've lost interest. Like it's too long. It's got to be 1 minute or less. I'm actually, when I reach out to people, I'm not even saying it's in the health and wellness space. I'm just saying like, I just jumped into something new. I'm so excited about it. I think it could be a blessing for you too, because, and I'm really personalizing it to tell them why I think it could be a blessing. I always edify my leader. So I'm always talking about Brianne and talking about how amazing she is. And she just started in March and she just got gold. So I'm always talking about someone on my team. And then I'm always inviting them to a call at the end and ending with a question. So I really do not give them too much information. And that's what I'm finding with like my teammates now. Like they want to tell them that it's in this health and wellness space and the products have like helped them so much, which is great. But like, we want to leave that out. So they're like, so what are you doing? And then that starts the conversation. So just really, I think that's helped me because I did not lead with that. But now that I'm reining it in and saying less, it's creating those conversations and people are more curious and wanting to get on the calls at night. Does that answer the question, I hope?
It does. Cause I said health and wellness company. I said nutraceutical company, CBD. I said all that stuff and people just instantly are like, nope, because they don't know what they want until you make them want it, honestly. Like, and if we say all of that ahead of time, like you need to avoid saying things that are going to put the wall up, you guys. If you say something that wall goes up, good luck tearing it down. Seriously. And I mean, Katie's an example where she had people throw the wall up, but she's gotten to take it down over time, but it took months of her being very persistent. But I mean, some of these people have just watched her for a while, but I mean, like, she'll be the first to admit that like she did it all wrong in the beginning too. It's just figure out the right way to do it and then pivot like Ross from Friends.
Yeah. So guys, Cassidy, my friend that just signed up, and said no over and over and over and over again that I've been talking to since March. Like I looked at my first contact with her at the beginning of March and I sent her 10 or 12 minutes worth of 1 minute voice clips. Hey, Allie's laughing because she knows I'm capable of that. And then after that, like what I see is I realize I sound like a crazy person right now. Like that's what I literally said. And I mean, you can eventually win those people back. But what you want to do is be able to pique their interest in the beginning. And Erin, I like how you said that you take it back to a question, because if we could like what we're talking about is that you want to figure out what solution we have for them. Like what's their problem? Because not everybody is about money. Not everybody's about the health products. Not everybody has something different, a different problem that we can solve for them. And so I like how if you do a small clip and then you make them ask a question, then maybe make that question something that they can answer in a way that you will know what their problem is. Because then if you know what their problem is, then you're not selling them anything, you're solving a problem.
Amos wants to know what do you do after they ask you, what are you doing? Because there's some difficult people in the world like me, where like there is no way I would get on an op call without knowing what it was. Because before now, like I was an insanely busy boutique owner. I still have my boutique, but like, thanks to this amazing opportunity, I have taken a massive step back from that. But when Katie met me, like I was in the thick of like the never ending hamster wheel. So like, there is no way I would have even considered jumping on an op call without knowing what it was. And I mean, Katie did tell me, but I asked Sarah Spencer this too, Amos. And Sarah Spencer said, for somebody difficult like you, because I said, I'm that person, there is no way that I would just watch, like, I don't have time for that kind of stuff. Like I would think it would be a waste of my time. She goes, somebody difficult like you. And Amos, I know you're the same way. I would say, do you have 5 minutes right now? I'm going to call you. And then you have to get really good at bullet pointing what makes us different enough without saying too much to get them to be willing to listen. And like, I mean, Katie can jump in on this, but one of the things she did for me, her bullet points when I was like, pushing back, she knew like I had a network marketing background. So she's like, listen, we get paid on endless levels here. And you only need 2 people. And that's why this is so obtainable. And the products speak for themselves. I even showed it to my son's pediatrician. Like she bullet pointed it for me in a way that like made me curious enough. By the way, I still didn't watch an op call.
And I didn't watch an op call for my first 2.5 weeks that I was actually here. And I mean that, and the reason I'm saying that to you guys is because I'm also one of those difficult people. Like I wouldn't have, there's nothing, honestly. And I was talking with Allie about this because I was definitely not recruited in any kind of like correct way. I signed up as a favor to my friend. And like, I signed up as a favor to my friend because she had signed up for something with me a couple months beforehand. And she literally said, Katie, you owe me. And I took it seriously because you know what I mean? Like it was fine. So, but I'll be honest with you. I don't think any other message would have gotten through to me at that time. No, there's
we were too busy.
I was working 12 to 14 hours a day at my boutique just to be able to cover my payroll. It was terrible. It was a terrible time in my life. And I was 100% too busy to hear anything. And so I literally, that's the only reason that I signed up. And what she said was that I just really think you're going to crush this, Katie, because there's this girl that started and she's making like 30,000 a month and she did it in a really short time. So technically she didn't know what she was doing, but she did the right thing. She edified Jenna, who was at that time a Ruby. And that's what Allie is saying is the right thing to do, is to fit and she didn't even know that she was doing the right thing. She gave me such a little tiny nugget in a way that was probably ridiculous because I didn't even know I didn't have enough attention yet to give it to even know what I'd signed up for, honestly. And I didn't listen to an op call for the first 2 weeks. And then when I did, my jaw was on the floor the whole time because I was like, are you kidding me? Is this what I've signed up for? Is this real? Does this like, it was literally, it was the craziest thing, but I had already signed up. And so I was invested. And so then I was a little softer and I was willing to listen. I mean, you guys have got to realize like people have a hard shell and that hard shell is like impossible to penetrate. And so you have to think, how am I going to be a trusted friend and be able to penetrate that shell and make it like warm enough that they would even listen? Because I can tell you, like, I could have been in a room with Jake Spencer and he could have told me about Q Sciences in the best way possible and told me, yeah, but I wouldn't have done it. And I mean that.
Erin, somebody was asking if you could repeat your little spiel because they literally wanted to like write it.
Yes. Okay. So what I do is I keep it as short as possible. I personally don't say health and wellness company. I just say that, I just jumped into something new. I'm super excited about it. I think it could bless your life too, because, and this is a general script. Obviously you want to make it sound like you. And I always personalize it. So figure out something about them that you are pulling in and keep it short. And then I edify my leader in some way. And then I always end with a question. So I'm usually like, can I send you a link to get on a call tonight? You don't have to participate at all, but I just really want your opinion on it.
The other thing that I was talking to one of my girls, this just made me think of it about like the sending the link for the call. I had a couple people like asking me questions about like how to get somebody on a call. And the conversation up until that point was very product based. Like maybe they were talking about the products for one reason or another. I don't know. If you guys are talking about the products, if the opportunity part has not come up yet, the op call is not your answer. The community group is. Okay. So you have to learn how to decide. There's a fork in the road. And honestly, like we're the only team running a community group at this level. You guys are so lucky to have this as a tool because it's only op calls out there. And we know that there's a nugget for preferred customers too, because here's the thing, the fortune is in the follow-up. If you do your job, because these customers have a high retention rate because they love the product so much, you might be able to flip them to an ambassador in 30 days with the help of your leader because they've fallen in love with the product. And now it's like, you have that talk like, listen, I really want to introduce you to the person who's helped me earn what you just fell in love with for free. Fortune's in the follow-up.
I 100% agree with her. And they're in like, you guys, I want you, like, she's 100% right. Like you guys need to realize what we have here on our team. Because we have so many people like from dozens and dozens and dozens of other teams, like banging down our door to ask to be a part of our, online community. The other, like, if you join a couple of the other testimonial groups, like they're nothing to brag about. I'll be honest. Maybe the testimonials have like 20 comments on them. There aren't actually info. There's nothing informational about the products. There's definitely no op calls being streamed in there. There's definitely no business things being streamed in there, nothing. And I can tell you that now that we have all the content in there from the last few parties, we're not going to be continuing the parties the way that we've been doing them. I just want you to know that this group is going to be an all month long thing. Now that we have all the content in there, now thanks to the party and everybody sending massive amounts of content really fast, all we have to do is organize it in the way of guides, in the way of topics. And once that's done, like this is going to be a group that you can literally utilize all like imagine this. Okay. Imagine a guide, and that guide is sleep. Like the sleep is guide. You know that there's a guide that's going to be that you can tag your customer in that is going to help them see how we can help with sleep. So the first thing is going to be the product and say what it is. And then after that in the guide, we'll have a few testimonials that we've seen and added to that guide. And then after that, it's the product sheet. And after that, it's the person talking about the science behind it. They don't need to watch all of it, but imagine how much that would help. Like having a guide like that, a sleep guide. And then in there, we can have a business op guide. Why not? But that is 100% like what like our vision is to turn that group into. And we want it to be a tool that you can utilize every single day and not have to scroll a lot, and just know that the information that is going to be there for you to connect people to the problem that you are able to solve.
Yeah. And we need people utilizing it all the time. And like, if you guys are doing the right thing in the world of stories, like I know I keep using Erin as an example, but like, she really is like the poster child for stories. She does it so well. I've been like telling my team about Erin like all week, just so you know, Erin, you really are amazing. But like, she had some stories up today. I think it was on the sleep spray. You're going to get people inquiring about the sleep spray. And for the love of all things holy, the next step isn't inviting them to an op call. You know, we want them to come to op calls, but that's not your next step with that person. Your next step could be though, oh my gosh, like, I'm so glad you saw my story. You know, we have this really awesome online community of people who have had so many like crazy success stories. Could I add you and tag you in some of them? probably gonna say yes. It is way less intimidating to have them be added to a Facebook group to learn about why sleep spray is awesome than to hop on a Zoom with a bunch of strangers. That is not the direct. So there's that fork in the road, you guys. And you guys, there's nothing wrong with getting some preferred customers. That's an amazing win. And for somebody who's never done this before, maybe your first couple wins is getting a preferred customer. And we want to celebrate that. That's a really great thing. Because again, we might be able to convince them to switch to ambassador after they fall in love with the product. And then that time clock starts for them then.
Our rate for that switching from preferred customer to ambassador is really high. Actually, a lot of people start as preferred customers and then a month or so in become an ambassador after they've tried the products and love them. And what I want you to know also about that, if you add them to the group and you start tagging them in some of the products and some of the different guides and everything like that pertaining to the problem that you have a solution for, then they're automatically going to be seeing the business ops and stuff like that as well. And then if they're going to be seeing the business testimonies, they're going to be seeing the rank up posts in there, and they're going to be seeing how many people are winning. Please, please, please make sure to edify and share your rank up posts into our community page, because we really, really want them. We want all of our customers and all of our potential ambassadors to really see everybody winning as well.
And the people that just signed up, create like a welcome post for them too, if they're okay with it. I've been shouting out all the new people in there, and they're like, it's like a warm welcome environment. But you guys, FOMO, it's a group that causes FOMO. If they see people signing up and they see people ranking up, and then they see people really excited about the different products, it really causes FOMO. And one of the ladies I shouted out in there this past weekend and welcomed her to Q Life as an ambassador, I added her 2 months ago. This is a process. But what that group did was it kept popping up for her and seeing it over and over and over again in a really natural way. Finally, I saw her say, Allie Wynn, I need you to message me. I'm ready, on one of the posts. And I'm like, done. And I messaged her. But I mean, I added her 2 months ago. It doesn't always happen in 24 hours, but once they're in there, they're in there, and it'll keep popping up every once in a while, especially if the group's active.
And also, I want to say to a lot of you who may have never done this before, like it can be like, it's a really big responsibility to have a team and know that like someone else's success is weighing on your shoulder. You know, it's not a big responsibility at all, is connecting somebody to products that you know are going to change their life and help them for the better. And I've even had so many of my customers from my previous businesses sign up for this and start getting customers right away, because they're already used to adding people to my boutique page. They've added people to my boutique page for years. So now it's like, okay, we're adding people to a page that is going to literally help them with their own health. And help them on whatever it is, like whether it's their health, whether it's their finances, whatever it is. Like I said, the Q Sciences has a solution for. Our goal in the community group is to expose them to all of the different solutions that we have to offer in a community that's super fun and accessible to everybody. And, really just a place where everybody like is happy to be. And like, we're all really growing together.
I'm shouting out Jody because she has 4 people coming to tonight now. So like, you guys, that's amazing. Who else is like, what all have you done? Put it in the chat. Like, what have you accomplished so far? I know we've been chatting a lot, but who's like say I put up a story, or I put up a post, or I reached out to somebody. Let us know in the comments what you've been able to do so far. And while you do that, like I've had some people ask me for examples, and I think like real life examples are helpful. And this person just signed up yesterday. This is a case where like my consistency in posting and stories finally caused her to reach out to me. And like, I mean, we really want that, right, you guys? And you're not going to get it without the consistency in the stories and in the posts. But I finally I'm getting better. I am not perfect. I still stink at stories some days, but it's better than when I first started. Because when I first started, it was like a big fat 0. I never did anything in stories. So I'm getting there. But she was from 2 past businesses that I was in. That's how she knew me. So she told me that she was a LuLaRoe dropout and she also did Epiphany. And she said, I'm working on another service business, but can always use extra money. I could have pounced. I didn't. So you guys want to hear what I said, I'm assuming. So let's go. I'm just going to read it to you. I said, oh my God, who were you under? Epiphany. What a roller coaster ride that was. I started the conversation and we had a conversation back and forth. She told me who she was under. She told me who she was familiar with, that she's seen popping up here, that it's on my team. And then she told me she's in a life coaching school right now. But she would love to like slow build this because she sees the potential, but she has no idea what it is. And I told her I had heard of her sponsor. I didn't personally work with her. And like, we just continued to talk a little bit. And I said, this is so refreshing to be able to have a huge income without hustling product 24/7. We continued the conversation a little bit. And then finally I said, this is going to sound nuts, but because it's full spectrum wellness, meaning we have something for everyone, and in parentheses, super high quality too, we don't really have to post much. She was asking me, how come I never see you posting products? That's how I got into this. I said, it's your job to pique interest and then connect them with information, usually through info calls that we do every night. People see the business opportunity, they invest in their health and that they can have a residual income, and they just jump right in. Well, guess who pretty much jumped right in after like a few more sentences? She did. That's all I did. But I had the conversation first. I didn't pounce. I feel like if I pounced and be like, oh my gosh, yes, I have to tell you all the things. But I asked her some questions and it was just like warm and friendly and back and forth for a little bit. And then after this part, we started to get into like voice messages a little bit, but like I warmed her up. Like you could think, oh my gosh, they came to me, or, oh my gosh, they comment on my post. I get to just pounce. Don't pounce. And it worked beautifully, but I'm really excited to work with her. And I got to know her a little bit in the process. And now I know where she came from and I know what she's currently doing in her life. And it's a way better starting point for the like business relationship that we're forming too. You're muted, Katie. You're still muted.
Were you clicking it too?
I was trying to ask you to unmute and we must have clicked at the same time.
I think so. I was like, I keep doing this. Okay. I wanna put a couple people on the spot. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Only people that I know I can put on the spot. Lauren said that she sent 2 texts to invite. Lauren, would you share with us what you said?
Okay. Well, this isn't like the first time I've talked to these people. This is like,
that's fine. It's
examples are needed.
Okay. So this is my friend Carlos, who has done Beachbody and like a million different things, and said, I had edified Katie already and said, you know, my friend is doing really well, blah, blah, blah. We've been going back and forth. I said, hi, Carlos, can you jump on a Zoom with me at 8 p.m.? My friend and mentor Katie will be presenting. By the way, she's the one making $15,000 a month. He's very motivated by money, by the way. That's what. So I'm just waiting for his response on that one. And then I sent another message to a former dance mom, Noelle, and we went back and forth. She said she's a CBD from some other company and is actually out of it. And so I just said, hey, Noelle, can you jump on a Zoom with me tonight at 8? I just said my friend Katie is presenting because I had talked about you earlier and in our previous, texts. But she's the one that I sent a voice message to, and she said, I think you got spammed. So I'm just going to stick with the messaging this time.
That's why I say to start it out with text of asking like, hey, do you have a minute? There's something I wanted to chat with you about. And then when they respond, you can voice message if you want, because I swear to God, the people that just voice message, they don't always open it. I'm like, how many voice messages have I sent that they haven't listened to?
I've never,
but it was kind of a good point too, because then she messaged me in a different way to say like, I think somebody is using your account. And I was like, no, that's me. And then we started going back and forth. So, I mean, in the end, I think it worked out, but.
I have never opened a voicemail that's just a random voice message from a random person ever, period. Just so you know. I don't think I ever have. And I've gotten tons and tons and tons and tons and tons. If I don't have a relationship with someone, I don't think I've ever opened one. And like, and when I say if I don't have, like, there are people that I know, but I mean, like, if it's not like a voice message from Allie or voice message from one of you on my, like a voice message from somebody I currently have something with that we're going on right now, of course, obviously. But I mean, just like a random, I don't think I ever have, because I know that it's just going to be something that I don't want to, that is like somebody just trying to get me to do something.
And this is a really crazy example, not with Q Sciences, but like a way to don't do it this way. I had somebody send me a voice message this week from another company, a company I used to be a part of. And she had messaged me before trying to get me to join her team. And I was like, oh, I was actually already a part of that company and I have no interest. She sends me a voice message, basically the same thing as before. And I was like, sister, I appreciate your hustle, but you really have to go back and read the conversation we already had. So it was so evident that she was like spam voice messaging the same thing and like wasn't even taking the time to read previous conversations. Don't do that. That is all.
That's a non-example, as the teachers would say. That would be a non-example.
Yes. Yes. I've had a couple of them recently, actually. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay.
But examples like that are reasons why people don't take voice messages from random people seriously. That is why I never open them, because I feel that, like, because I've had so many in the past, or even like messages from random people that like just friend requested me, and then I see like this long thing. I'm like, nope. And then I just delete the friend request because I'm like, nope, I'm sorry. Like, that's just, it's people, we're in a lot of people spam a lot of people. And this is not like that at all. Like, this isn't about spamming. This is about really, like, Allie was talking about a list earlier. Like, how many of you actually really truly do have a list of people that are like your dream? And I mean it, like a list of dream people, because that's the first step of this business. Lauren, I love you. She's an A+ student. But guys, Lauren has never done anything like this before. And in her first month, she's going to be hitting, like, she's already hit executive. She's going for elite, like, and she's really close. Like, what are you at now? Like, how many more? Like 7 or 8?
6.
You're doing it. You're going to hit elite. And she's never done any network marketing before. And you guys just show them your list, Lauren.
Well, some of them have X's on them because they dropped out of the the group for some reason. People remove themselves.
Okay.
But that's okay. I'm not going to give up.
No, but but that's the thing. Not if every person always said yes to you and something like this, then like, and that
We'd all
was
be millionaires.
then everybody, exactly. Then it would already be saturated and none of us would have a chance. Because think about it, they've been working on this comp plan for 3 years. And
you guys know about the math, right? There is an actual mathematical formula to network marketing. Do you guys know what it is? Do you want me to tell you? Everybody's like,
I don't even know what it is, Allie.
You know how I am. Apparently Jake knows how I am too. I absorb like a sponge and it's just useless facts stick in my brain. So here's why they want you to have a list of 20 to 25, because 10 are either going to say no or ghost you. 10 will say, sure, I'll check it out. 5 are going to show up and 2 are going to do something. And this is about getting your 2, right? That's why. And that helps you become less sensitive and stop taking it personally, because this is mathematical, like statistics across the board. So if you have a list of 20 and you end up with a big fat 0, that tells me your approach needs tweaking. But if you have a list of 20 and you've reached out to 10 and you've got 10 no's, I'm like, that sounds like math to me.
Yeah, I agree. And another thing I was going to say about that is like, and this goes back to, like how to reach out, how to engage with them, how to build that relationship. The reason why you keep that list, and I actually got this from Marielle's collagen training. I'm not sure if you were on it, it was so awesome, but Marielle talked about her list. And she said that she has her list constantly divided into 3 categories. She has her list divided into presentation, people that she's trying to connect to a presentation. And then edification. So that's the step where she's trying to connect with somebody. And then she has launch, literally. Those are her 3. Her list, because she doesn't consider somebody as like actually started until they've launched, and then are, because a lot of people join and like just get the products and maybe they don't ever launch. So she has the list between presentation, follow-up, and launch. And sometimes it goes back and forth. And I think that was so valuable so that you always know where people are in that list. Because remember, this is like Ali said, and I was saying, it's not about spamming. It's about thinking about who your list should be, people who you think you'd work with well, people who you are going to think that you would be spending a lot of time with, talking to. Ali, how much time do we spend together?
I mean, I should live with you.
Like yesterday, she said she thinks it's 6 hours a day that we talk. And that's
some days it is.
That's really possible. Like, I know that last month, that was what it was with me and Bree. I know when Aaron started, Aaron, how much were we talking when you first started? Like your first 2 weeks, like 3-4 hours a day on
A lot. Yeah.
calls and everything sometimes. Yeah. So like your list should be people that you really want to work hard with and work with in this business. And the other thing about that is that if you're doing it the right way and just continue that relationship, then you're just going to keep building your list. And the one other thing is that Jake always says, if your belief is high, your list is long. The more that you believe in yourself and your ability to be able to help people win, the longer your list is going to be. The more that you believe in our company and our products that are changing lives, the longer your list is going to be. So the higher your belief, the longer your list is.
I was going to go through something somebody taught me recently called a daily algorithm shuffle. That is what I was going to be doing tonight, but I think that this was like probably the most productive use of our time. But would you guys like me to go over that with you? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be great. But one thing I would like to make sure that we do before everybody leaves, and I need to leave because I have to go home and shower before the 8 o'clock call. I think they've left my house now, finally. But what I would love is for every single person on here to send in the message an example of what you're sending in terms of a reach out right now, because I want every single person that's on this call to send at least 5 before the call tonight, 5 invites. And it can be people you've been talking to, anything, like just an invite to get them back onto the call. And honestly, Lauren, I feel like yours was perfect. If you want to know somebody that I've been trying to get that's been saying no to me forever, I just said, hey, when are you gonna, and this was a bold, tiny thing because she'd just been ignoring me, and we were friends in another business. So I was annoyed that I was getting ignored. And I was like, hey, I'm making $19,000 a month now. When are you going to listen to me? And you know what? Any of you guys can say, hey, my friend Katie that I told you about that's helping me in this business, she's making $19,000 a month now. She's trying to teach me to do this, but I need partners to do it with to make it possible. Do you want to hear what she has to say? She's talking tonight. Like, I actually think that was perfect, Lauren, because that's like it's so straight and to the point. How was I just signed out?
I
Okay.
had an insanely blunt delivery too. And I really
loved
don't,
it.
I don't, you guys, I'm not going to recommend that some of you do this. Somebody I knew in a past business and I knew her
It's
well.
not. Jody just said the power to say it through yourself. When I started, I never said anything through myself. I had nothing. All I did was edify Jenna and I didn't even know her. But I knew that if it was possible for her to do it, it was possible for me.
I
And
mean,
that
Katie was
confidence comes
only-
from within.
You were only a pro, right? Like you were, or an executive, like
I was executive when I got you. Yeah.
yeah, like you weren't making like crazy money, but my God, she sure talked like she did. You guys, she
But I
like,
knew I was going to.
she believed, like she knew she was going to. It wasn't a if she could, she knew she was going to. I never met a woman before Katie that had this level of self-belief, if you like want to know the truth. And like she calls me out because I catch myself still saying like if, and she's like, no. And it's true. Like you need to believe it yourself. You really, really do. Like you need to say like, this month I am going to hit this rank. Even if you don't hit it, like that's how you say it to people. This month I am going to do this. And like to your downline, because this is what she does to me. You're hitting gold this month. And I'm like, and she's like, no, you are. Like, that's how you need to talk to your team too. Easier said than done, I know, but take a lesson from Katie because that's how she operates.
I did that to Erin and I didn't even knew her. I knew her. Gosh, that was terrible.
The sun did it.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know Erin. All I knew is what I saw that she had started with. I talked to her. I sat like literally on our goal setting calls. She was like taking notes. Like, and then she had like her launch call. She invited so many people to her launch call when me and Bree were doing it with her. And I was like, Erin, I know it sounds crazy and you have 2 weeks, but you're going to hit elite. And she did. Like, but it comes from belief. Like if you don't believe in yourself, you can't go anywhere. And I'm just going to be honest with you. And that's in anything in your life. If you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to be able to go anywhere. So start there. Start with believing in yourself. Start with thinking, and this is something, and Allie, our friend Sam, she's amazing. It took her 2 months to get her 2 people, and she worked every day. Every single day she worked to get
for hours. It wasn't like a dabbling. Like that girl, like every day for hours, you might have thought it was her full-time job. Like if anybody was going to get discouraged and quit, it should have been her. But she kept going.
But one thing I remember that stuck out when we were talking was I said, Erin, not Erin. I just looked at Erin. I know. I just looked at her face. It may be the sun. You're right. But I looked at Sam and when we were chatting together, and I was like, hey, don't think about if you get your 2 people. Think about how are you going to help them when you have them? Because you're working so hard, you will have them. So what I want you to focus on is how are you going to be the leader that they need? And it was like, I feel like really not even that long after we had that conversation, she started getting people. Yep. And now she's going for elite.
She'll hit it too. I just checked her numbers. She'll hit it this month too.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Katie, could I just share one thing that Brianne shared with me that was like super helpful? Is that okay?
Of course.
So just like in reaching out to people, because I know this is what I'm getting from my team, like people don't want to bother them. And like I've messaged so many people, and the one thing like Brianne said to me and people on my team, and I have it written on my wall, it says this could change someone's life. So that's like my perspective when I'm reaching out to people, not like, oh, I don't want to be pestering them. I'm like, no, like I see myself making a ton of money by the end of the year, and I'm going to feel guilty if I don't tell them about it now, and then they can make the decision for themselves. So like, I'm really feeling like it's a responsibility. So if you like change your mindset around that, I think it's going to help you to continue to just push through and send those uncomfortable messages. So hope that helped, but it has helped me. It's on my wall.
That's so helpful. That's so helpful. But Erin, like you know, like think about how high your belief is in yourself.
Mhm.
Like
I mean, I
you,
believe in the company, and I believe like in that so many people that are joining with me can have this financial freedom. So like that's what's keeping me
and they,
going.
exactly, and they are, and
Mhm.
that's what's amazing. Like one of the things that really sticks out to me about you and your organization is how many promotions you keep having coming out of your organization. It's not like you're just this fireball recruiter that's recruiting a ton of people and they're not really having success. It's you are recruiting people who are having tons and tons and tons of success. And that's amazing. Like the amount of promotions that are coming out of your team are absolutely mind-blowing to me. And I'll tell you that that's something that's changed in me. If I'm going to be honest, between this month and 2 months ago, when I went to like 2 months ago, when I went to Silver Summit, like you can ask Allie, like I was so overwhelmed because we were going to be changing a lot. Like I was at Silver Summit and trained directly by Jake. We weren't even doing our own op calls yet because like we felt like the ones that our bigger team had were so amazing. We're like, why would we? And Jake said that if you're not like that, your business is only as strong as the amount of presenters you have. Like if you don't like it, you're like your bit like if your business, if you don't have presenters, then like you're sitting on a deck of cards, basically. Like your business is only as strong as the amount of presenters you have. And now I see it because in the last month, we have like completely changed our initiative in terms of presenting and the importance of presenting. Like as soon as you start promoting, like as soon as you have a testimony, we want to get you on a call. We want to put you on there. We want to get you on posting your testimonials in our page, because that's presenting too. Just posting a testimonial in our community page is presenting. And so the more and more that we have you guys presenting, the more that we're helping you build confidence in yourselves and build confidence in this business. And also the more that those who choose to follow you are seeing you win. And that's really the whole point, is that you want them to see how easy it is to jump in and be like you. And ever since I feel like that changed in me, like before I was in the beginning, I'll be honest, I was really worried because like, I didn't feel like every single person had this path to success the way that we were doing it. And so my belief was low, if I'm being honest. And I didn't recruit a single person in, I don't remember which month, but there was a month that I didn't recruit a single person because I was just trying to figure out if I believed our systems worked. And what I realized was that I didn't even really know what our system was until I went to Silver Summit and got trained. And so now that I know it and I see it, and I've seen it so many times now. Lauren was one of the ones that Lauren is actually the first person that literally started 100% on the system. And then Aaron was another one. We had so many that started within the actual, and I've seen it. And so now my belief, yes, my belief is super high because I'm seeing the people who are plugging into the system succeed. And remember, the system is peak interest, connect to a presentation, don't be the expert, connect back to an expert. And guys, the like Lena,
You know, there's a 7 p.m. op call that's on this link. Sorry,
we can go. It's fine.
Because they can't start. I'm sorry. I was trying to let you
Right.
go.
No, you're right. I 1 minute. Lena just said, I'm on the same boat understanding the system. Lena, we have to get everybody understanding the system because the system literally is peak interest, connect to an op call or presentation, whether if it's a product, connect to our community group. If it's a business, connect to an op call. And then after that, I'm going to go, Allie. Don't worry. It's fine. It's fine. And then, and then after that, you connect back to an expert. You connect to a 3-way call. And then after that, you either connect them back with more resources or you close together with that expert. You're not supposed to be doing any of this on your own at all. So anyway, I'm going to go. Sorry, we're going to just end this so that everybody can start the call. And sorry about that. Sorry, this is an abrupt ending. Thank you.
See you at 8.
Bye.